Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for coming to our event today. I'm Keiji Kuniyoshi from the True Digital Park team. So I would like to start the TDPK talk session, episode 14. So how to set up business in the Thailand. Today event is divided into three parts, with the main part one being a talk by Mr. Warwick, Mrs. Punawaji, and Mr. Piawat from W Solicitors. And part two is a startup case study with Razvan from chat group speaking. And finally, Pim from True Digital Park Startup Booster team will give an introduction to True Digital Park Startup Booster program. So this is the overview of today's session. So let's start part one. Yes. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Warowitz, thank you very much for your time. So please start with a brief introduction of yourself and your company, and then please start your presentation.
Okay, let's start this introduce ourselves. Basically, my name is David. I'm a legal counsel for W Solicitors Bangkok. We handle a broad range of practice in Thailand, including corporate commercial, taxation, international taxation, dispute resolution, immigration. Beside of me is Kun Punyanoti. She is an associate of W Solicitors Limited Bangkok, and Kun Piyawat. He is an senior associate in immigration and dispute resolution. Today we will walk you through about how to set up business in Thailand, both of pre-setup, during the setup process, requirement, foreign business license, and post-setup as well. Okay, next slide. Well, as we have mentioned before, today's agenda would be divided in four major agendas. First is set up company in Thailand. Second would be a Foreign Business Act. The third would be visa and work permit. And then process up in terms of like employment management, regulatory management, intellectual property management. Next slide. Well, set up a company in Thailand. We would talk about the registration requirement, mandatory filing, tax filing, and basic employment requirement. Next slide. Well, we have we have 6 factors of requirement. The first would be a company name. It need to be in Thai and English as well. The company address is need to in Thailand, and it need to it needs to have a household registration identification number to put in the application, and mostly every office has the household registration number. Register capital, the minimum register capital would be like there is no minimum register capital, but in terms of practice, it would be 2,050 100, right? Yes.
Yeah, but
the minimum.
for foreign business, it minimum is 2 million.
Yeah. The shareholder, at this moment, it requires 3 shareholder, but after the amendment of the civil and commercial code, it will be reduced to 2 shareholder. There is a minimum authorized director required for incorporating a company and day-to-day operation. However, the company fee is not mandatory. It would be optional. It would be optional. It depends whether you would like to have a company fee or not. Basically, signature could assign to binding the company as well. Next slide.
Next slide, please.
Okay. Mandatory filing. We will start with Department of Business Development, Thai Ministry of Commerce for company registration. Then following with value added tax registration. But normally the value added tax registration will require when you have like
1.8 million.
revenue of 1.8 million baht in a financial year or in a calendar year. So, but normally, if you would like to apply for a visa and work permit, the immigration bureau will force you to register value-added tax. There is a requirement for filing every month for value-added tax as well, and there is a sale tax, right? It's a sale tax, so that is required in terms of sale tax management, in terms of output tax and input tax as well. Then, if you have employee, since the initial employee, you need to apply for the social fund legislation. It's totally separate between incorporating a company, register for value-added tax, register for social security, and procure a visa and work permit. However, if you would like to procure a visa and work permit, you need to apply for a social security registration up on the initial employee. Next slide, please. Well, the tax filing could be divided in three major tax filing. The first would be income tax return. Income tax would be in terms of we call พงด50 and พงด51. It would be half year and end year, and it happens regularly every year. And then if you register for VAT in case that you have revenue more than 1.8 million, or you need to apply for visa or work permit, you need to have a value-added tax return with filing every month before. If you're filing a physical paper by visiting a local revenue office, you would need to filing before the date of 7 every month. But if you're filing to the internet, you need to filing before the 15th of every month, including make a payment as well. Withholding tax return, basically withholding tax return, it need to file on a monthly basis as well, and it divide between a personal business and a corporate business. Like it use a different application, but let the accountant handle that. However, if you're filing a lower revenue in at the end of year or at the half year, if you're filing the income tax return in terms of revenue lower than the withholding tax return, the revenue department will post audit you. So basically, you should have a competent accountant to handle that. Next slide, please. Foreign Business Act, we would discuss about three major topics. The first thing would be control business activity. Second would be the treaty for certain nationality, like favorable treatment for nationality. The third would be investment promotion by the Board of Investment. Next slide, please. Okay, basically, the Foreign Business Act decide control business in a negative list, like something you cannot do. If anything listed on the appendix of Foreign Business Act, it means that you cannot do. So there is a certain thing that allowed to do. First is manufacturing in a certain business. If you fall in like agriculture, you cannot do. But if you are partner with local people like Thai people and you hold a minority shareholder, you are allowed to do everything. So partnering with local people is a one option. However, if you would like to proceed with our local partner, manufacturing is allowed. Retail and wholesale is allowed with a minimum of 100 million. If you would like to operate both of retail and wholesale, it will be like 200 million, right? So basically, there is other as well, like infrastructure construction, like you build a road, or it will require a minimum registered capital of 500 million. And there is other thing that allowed to do according to the Security Exchange Commission. It would be agent or brokerage in terms of security trading. However, we would need to emphasize that digital asset is not exempt yet. Financial technology is not exempt yet. You need to obtain an approval from and agriculture is not exempt yet. Yeah, you need to obtain an approval from the Thai Ministry of Commerce to be fast track that. However, next slide, please. Okay. However, if you are a certain nationality, we have like if you are Asian nationality or you have like American nationality, Japan nationality, or Australian nationality, you will obtain a favorable treatment. Like it seems like you are able to operate a certain business without asking for approval from Thai Ministry of Commerce, and that is a tax incentive as well. Basically, but it would need to review on a business by business basis, right? On a category basis. So to advise to like frankly advice from a lawyer, it would need to review by business activity basis. Like if you handle a platform and your platform has a matching engine between like a user and a retailer or a service provider, okay, you cannot do that because it's considered as a service in Foreign Business Act. However, you could ask for the BOI as like a digital service, but BOI will not allow you to be act as payment agent. So it would need to divide by business activity, and it would need to review by a specialist before commencement of business operation, because like Foreign Business Act has a imprisonment, but normally the Thai Ministry of Commerce will not enforce the jail time. Basically, it will be in terms of fine. Okay, next slide. About the investment promotion. Okay, investment promotion, we divide in a three major industry. First is agriculture and biotechnology. Second would be like advanced manufacturing industry. Third would be basic and supporting industry. And the fourth would be like digital, creative, and high value service. The one that obtain and most interesting would be like digital and creative and high value service. It would be handled by BOI, the section number 4, like the department number 4, and there is a certain guideline to apply for the BOI with the department number 4, right? If you would like to create a platform, in terms of financial feasibility, in terms of other requirement, the lawyer here can help you with that. However, in terms of user journey, development plan, UX, UI, interface development, milestone, and function, actually we could help. The lawyer here, everyone could help. However, it would be nice if you could like handle by yourself and you could tell BOI that how would you like to develop your platform, or how would you like to establish the milestone, because it would be benefit your business as well to establish each milestone or each function, to reduce an effort of software developer and help the system analyst or business analyst do their job as well. So it would be nice if you like prepare everything in terms of software development in place, and after that we could help you. Next slide, please. Okay. Incentive of BOI normally divide in 5 incentives. The first would be exemption of like corporate income tax up to 13 years. However, we need to like notify you that BOI have 5 category of incentive. It would be divided into A1 to A5, and each type of business obtain a different incentive. However, the incentive could be common, like exemption of corporate income tax credit, exemption of import duty. Of course, the foreigner can hold 100% of a business endorsed by the BOI. It's like fast track of foreign business license. Moreover, you can own a land in Thailand, and you have like a privilege visa and work permit from BOI as well. Immigration Bureau will support you and expedite the application to complete of the upon approval of BOI. Next slide, please. Okay. Okay, we will let Kun Piyawat introduce the visa and work permit in Thailand.
Okay, today we will talk about the visa and work permit. The visa is a three types of visa that we talk today. Okay, please the next slide. Okay, for the working visa we know as a non-B visa. The condition that I show you in the slide is the first thing is you need to work in a Thai company. The qualification of company is the 2 million capital registration per one foreigner and 4 Thai employees per one foreigner. And there is the regulation about the minimum salary that I will show you the next. The next is complete the tax and social security fund payment. You need to pay it completely legally. Yes. And the next is and approval. In the first time, you will get a 3-month visa for the non-B visa, and after that you extend to 1 year, and after that you extend year by year every year. Yes. So for the non-B visa, the work permit is required to you need to have the work permit with the visa non-B. Yes. Okay. For the next slide, please. Okay. This slide show the minimum salary of the minimum for the applying non-B visa. The first is about 50,000 baht. It's about the country in Europe, Australia, Canada, Japan, and USA. This is the first, and the next for 45,000 is the South Korea, Singapore, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. Yes. And the next is 35,000 is the Asian country. Then the 25,000 is in the African country. Yeah. Okay, for the next is
Next slide, please. I will assist Kun Piyawat in introduce you Malay's visa. Well, basically, requirement would be like married to a Thai nationality, but when you marry to a Thai nationality, it would be have a mandatory interview whether you are actually spouse. But I don't think anything that love cannot detain, right? So if you are actually spouse, you will able to pass the interview. And if you are married in a foreign country, you need to carry the marriage certificate to the embassy, and if the embassy endorse, you need to carry to the Department of Consular and to endorse again, and after that you need to issue the Call 22 at the local district office. But the process could take around like 1 month or more than 1 month as well to like if a foreigner would like to legalize the marriage certificate. Basically, proof of fund is mandatory at 400,000 baht in a local bank account, like in SCB or KBank is fine. The approval period would be a 1 year and extension for another 1 year. Basically, your spouse that obtain a non-O can working in Thailand. So after you receive a non-O, you can issue a work permit as well. Next slide, please. Well, retirement visa. Let's be frankly speaking that retirement visa is not allowed to work if you are work with retirement visa. You will be deported. If you are working in Thailand without a work permit or with a tourist visa, you will be deported. You will be detained at immigration bureau and finally deported. if someone notify the immigration bureau. But normally, the immigration bureau will not so stick on that. However, to obtain a retirement visa, you need to have more than 50 year old. You need to have a proof of fund more than 800,000 baht in your Thai bank account. And if you have a monthly pension, it would be greater than 65,000 in every month. And the period of approval would be 1 year, and it could be extended every year, for another 1 year. How about medical insurance? Do they need a medical insurance?
For now, the
At this moment, the immigration bureau is not required to procure a health insurance for retirement visa holder in Thailand. Next slide, please. Well, let's go a bit roughly about the process of apply non-B and non-PAN, the process to apply working visa and work permit in Thailand. Basically, it divides into two major procedures. The first would be apply in Thailand, and the second would be apply outside Thailand. Normally, we would recommend for apply outside Thailand because it would be more easier in terms of procedure. Like you can contact the Thai embassy at the country where you are located. You submit the full application with the full supporting document, and it would take around 2 days to obtain 2 or 3 days to obtain an approval. The fee would be vary, right?
Yeah.
The fee would be vary, but normally it would not more than 2,000 baht.
2,000 baht. I don't know about that.
So applying in a foreign country would be more easier. However, applying in Thailand would be allowed, but it would taking more time and more resource. You will need to start with apply for work permit under the application W Wall 32
For WP
22, right?
22, yeah.
Then after obtain an approval from Ministry of Labor, you need to carry the work permit to obtain a working visa at Immigration Bureau, mostly แจ้งวัฒนะ However, there is a certain requirement, like you need to have a registered capital more than 2 million. You need to employ at least 4 employees. You need to be a VAT operator, and you need to have a social security in place. You need to have a physical office. Basically, virtual office is not allowed. Working remote is not allowed. You need to have a physical office for the immigration to review as well. After everything is ready, we will collect your work permit we call WP11. The process will take up to 40,000, right?
40,000, yes.
With 40,000, including the out-of-pocket expense, it would take around 7 days. 7 days if your company is ready. Basically, the whole process from set up a company, if you are not in the control list, would take around 2 weeks to get everything ready with a cost around less than 100,000 to get everything ready. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, let's talk about the post setup. The post setup would be divided in terms in employment, intellectual property, and regulatory compliance, dispute resolution for 4 major issues. Let's start with the employment. Next slide, please. Okay, the employment we're talking about how you manage your relationship with your employee, and intellectual property we talk about how you manage your intangible asset in terms of intellectual property. Regulatory we will provide you a way to review a regulatory scheme in Thailand in terms of regulatory requirement. And then when you run business for a while, it would have a dispute resolution. It will have a legal issue in terms of case, like your employee filing for certain thing, you filing your employee and certain thing happen, dispute about bad debt, dispute about intellectual property. Okay, next slide. Next slide, please. Okay, thank you. Well, in terms of employment, it would be basically employment agreement is not required. It could be we could employ otherwise verbal, like I would like to employ anyone, like hire you, something like that. However, we would advise that the employment agreement would be made in writing, and it would describe the certain employment condition, and then the certain employment condition could have a non-compete clause as well. Like you can prohibit your employee to working for the same business in the same geographical location for like a maximum period of 2 years, according to the wording of labor court right now, without paying anything. Basically, like you can prohibit them. However, you can maintain the confidentiality of your business information for a lifetime as in by the employment agreement as well. This is how basically is rough review about the employment management. Next slide, please. IP management. Basically, the IP management we will talking about in perspective of relationship with other. The first thing would be, what about the intellectual property? The intellectual property will be considered as an intangible asset. It will be come in terms of source code. Source code means you develop software and you have source code. It will be come in terms of copyright. Copyright means you design something, a certain thing, and it will be in terms of copyright. And a patent, you invent something and it come in terms of like they register and it come in terms of patent, or your employee invent something and you already like provide them a small fee and you own that patent. There is that a kind of intellectual property like สิทธิบัตรลิขสิทธิ์วรรณกรรมมีอะไรไหม other would be like a mark, a trademark, like a register trade name or register logo that you would like to that you use to in your business. Let's start with the employment. Basically, the employment would be stick on the when your employee invent something. If a copyright, it could be like distribute to you automatically. However, it would be if it in terms of patent, there is a certain regulation mandate that you need to pay your employee a certain thing, and it could write down in the contract that your employee need to like facilitate the patent registration as well. If your employee violate the obligation according to agreement, you can pursue them in a litigation or in a legal procedure as well, legal proceeding. Basically, let's talk about the service provider. Of course, we hiring everyone hiring a service provider. Like if we hire a software development company, it would need to write down in a contract that the copyright of source code will transfer to you upon created or something like that. Or if you let your service provider using your patent to manufacture something, it needs to be clear that your patent will not be patentable by them or challenge the right by them again. About the partner, it needs to be have a shareholder agreement or partnership agreement that indicate how the relationship between you and your partner. Other would be a professional service. Basically, the professional service will the one who navigate you in terms of intellectual property management, board of like trademark, source code, how to protect, how to write the contract, and basically in Thailand, the professional service provider here is quite competent for the intellectual property. It's not a big issue. You can like engage anyone or engage us. Our intellectual property practice will led by Kun Nathawadi, but she not here today. So let's move to another slide. Next, please. Okay. The process of IP management will be similar. The first one is you create your intellectual property asset or in terms of intangible asset. Then you make a registration if you need to, like in terms of patent, in terms of trademark. Copyright has a registration. It in terms of like it would be like it's more like a register process, and it will not absolute, like, but you can let the people know that you have like create this, but it will not absolute. It will be up to challenge. Then you utilize your intellectual property. Then you need to maintain your intellectual property. Like there is a renewal of trademark every 5 years. There is a renewal of patent, something like that. Then enforcement, that if someone violate your intellectual property, there is an enforcement against itself. Like we call a cease and desist notice issued by a lawyer, or if it's in terms of trademark or service mark, we could report to the police for proceed a criminal case. The police will handle it for you, or you could pursue a case at the intellectual property court. In Thailand, we have a intellectual property court as well to handle the intellectual property case. Next slide, please. Okay, about the regulatory compliance. Well, regulatory compliance, if you are in compliance, is a costly own goal. You may cost your own business with the revenue. However, in terms of penalty, there is a penalty up to many million, like a small fine up to many million. But in Thailand, for the first offense, we will not impose the jail time, so you would be comfortable to do a business here. But to be compliant is very nice, and it's very good. It's clean, and basically, regulatory compliance need to be reviewed on the annual basis, like every year. The process of regulatory compliance would be like we target a certain business to be reviewed, what would you like to do, and we target that business. Then we conduct a gap analysis. Gap analysis means we have a standard and this is your business. We conduct how different between a standard and your business. We consider as a gap analysis. So after gap analysis, it will render in terms of report. Report will indicate that what need to be complied and what need required to be improved. So the certain thing is the conduct the certain improvement according to the gap analysis. Like if you need to have an SOP in place, you need to have a certain license, you need to have an industry standard, you need to have ISO, you need to have like a mandatory license issued by the BOT or the SEC that require a license. You procure it, and then after you complete the improvement, we will do a post review. Like after we improve, there is anything that still non-compliant, and we do this like on an annual basis every year to ensure that your business is compliant with the local regulatory requirement. Next slide, please. Okay. Dispute resolution. Basically, we talk about how we manage the case. We divide the process in three major procedures. First is pre-litigation, litigation, and post-litigation. Pre-litigation, it could conduct a risk mitigation in terms of like agreement. We have a clear obligation, clear term and condition. Who like basically the way to write agreement is like who do the certain thing, what, when, why, where, something like that. Litigation would be like after we already protect everything in pre-litigation, but there is a certain case, you need to litigate the case, and then after the litigation would be a post-litigation. We consider as a asset confiscation or asset recovery. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay. Well, we try to like we would like to show you about the procedure of dispute resolution. The first would be like pre-execution. Before execute a trade deal or a commercial transaction, it would need to start in terms of like agreement will the good agreement will tell you how the contractual part the obligation and the law of the contractual party, it would be in terms of term and condition to reduce a possibility of like future dispute or future litigation. The execution would be the agreement need to be executed by the authorized signatory. It need to be like a director according to the company affidavit or attorney in fact according to the power of attorney. Then after that you will have like for if a business run for a while, you have a dispute with whether with your employee, with your business partner, with your service provider. Basically, we could done the settlement before the court as well. Like before the court, we talk with the good faith and we try to settle and negotiate in the best benefit of both parties. If you cannot settle, it would come in terms of litigation, like you filing a suit against each other, and it would go to the court, either the court or the arbitration. The court would be more formal, but the arbitration would be more easy, but both of them are costly as well. So it depends what would you like to do. In Thailand, arbitration is common more than 10 years ago, but it's still costly. Basically, if you are like a typical lawyer, we would prefer litigation to settle the issue. But if you are a foreigner, the arbitration would be as if you are lost because the procedure would be informal. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Thank you. The execution after the court render a verdict, or what would we call in terms of like arbitration? We call reward, right? Or award. Well, if you are in the process of arbitration, the arbitrator will render an award to you. Award means like a verdict, like who need to do what on, and what is a reward to you, or what is something that you will get from the arbitration. Basically, it will come into the execution. You need to understand that the procedure of litigation and execution is totally separate. If you got a verdict from the court, it not mean that you will get a compensation. To get a verdict and to get a compensation is totally different. In terms of legal perspective, the lawyer will split the bill. This for litigation up to the verdict, and this for execution. The execution would be like in terms of like legal execution. After got a verdict, you need to ask for หมายบังคับคดีใช่ไหม We call it execution warrant หมายบังคับคดี from the court of competence. Then you carry the หมายบังคับคดี or the warrant to the กรมบังคับคดี or legal execution department to like set up a matter to confiscate your contractual party, to confiscate the asset of contractual party. We call this process as a asset recovery or confiscation. Then after you obtain something from your contractual party, your defendant, it would need to come into in terms of monitoring, right? We would need to monitor whether there is a certain breach, there is a certain incomply with the term and condition of exhibit agreement to pursue a litigation again or to issue a notice. Nowadays, if the court issue like a future compensation มีค่าเสียหายในอนาคตไหมในมุมของศาลมีค่าเสียหายในอนาคตในคดีทรัพย์สินทางปัญญาจะส่วนใหญ่ปะทางปัญญาแล้วก็คดีแพ่งบางส่วนThere is a certain future compensation in intellectual property lawsuit and a certain like commercial lawsuit, but normally the court will not impose a future compensation for you unless you like a certain intellectual property or matter, or are you in a certain commercial matter. Will if it would be a Q&A session, you can ask a question raised by คุณไคจู right?
Yes. Okay. If anyone has any questions, please leave a comment. Is this... Oh, yeah, that's nothing. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's move to next. Yes, we will now move to the startup case studies. So thanks so much, Mr. Warriot. So next, Mr. Laz.
Yeah, over here.
Thank you very much for your time. So first, please give a brief introduction of yourself and your company, and please start your presentation.
Yeah, let me share my screen over here.
Yes.
Okay. Let me know if it's working. Oh yeah, I can see it myself. Okay. I'm like.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are just okay.
Okay, I gave you a brief show of the slides over there. Yeah, so my name is Raz, and my business is called Charbrew, which is a data visualization platform. And this presentation is mostly like how Charbrew works in terms of the business, and who am I, and how do I work on this business. So it's not really like a pitch, it's more like an informational presentation. Yeah, so first let's start with who I am. This is me riding a motorcycle in Thailand, like every other person that comes to visit the country. So I'm originally from Romania. I lived there for 18 years, 19 years almost. And then I moved to UK, where I studied for my bachelor's in software engineering. And there I kind of, got to know more about this industry. I was very passionate about coding, creating projects. So this was kind of my calling in a way. And there in UK, I also built professional experience in the domain. So I worked with IBM and also worked with startups over there. And then I decided to learn more about design and entrepreneurship, because I was really interested in this domain. I want to create my own product. I want to create my own business and kind of live on my terms, right? So I decided to study design and entrepreneurship in Sweden and France, where I got a double master degree. And then it was me done with academia, right? So it was time to concentrate on a business. And I actually started Charbrew while studying. So I was studying and working and also developing Charbrew on the side. So I was kind of doing a lot of stuff along the way, and also traveling after my master degree. And that's how I ended up in Thailand too. And I quite enjoy my time so far here. And yeah, this is about all about me really. And now let's talk about Charbrew. So this is a short sort of a screenshot of the product. So this is kind of what you get once you set up your dashboard. So Charbrew is an open source data visualization platform where you can take your data from all these sources that you have, because now every business is digital in some way. And they can have data in a database or a service, an API, and so on. So you can get all this data and present it in a nice dashboard. And you can also create reports for your stakeholders, for your investors, and make a better business decision that way. So I started working on Charbrew because I created a lot of projects along the way. All the way, I don't know, maybe even 10 years ago, I created my first project. And I had this tiny apps that I could I could not monitor in a simple way. So that's why I started working on Charbrew. It wasn't a standalone project in the beginning, but with time I decided to focus on this and kind of package it as a business. And the way Charbrew works in terms of the business model, it's currently offered as a software as a service. So it has 3 pricing tiers, and customers pay monthly or yearly. And as you can see here, I also included an MRR chart, which means monthly recurring revenue. So this is, I took this screenshot just before this event. And as you can see now, it's starting to grow because I focused more on the business and started to get more customers and grow the business that way. Also, Charbrew is open source, so it can be used for free. It has an MIT license. And this can also be a revenue stream. And I actually received some money this way through support and custom feature design. So if a big client, an enterprise client comes along and uses Charbrew on their own service, they can request customized features and they'll have to pay for that. And obviously, open source donations, but this is more like wishful thinking because it's very, very hard to get these types of donations. Currently have maybe like $2 a month donation going on. But yeah, most of the revenue comes from the SaaS model, and as you can see, it's currently generating almost $1,100 per month. And since some business decision that I took in the past, it's currently growing at around 25% month over month since taking those decisions. So I'm still learning the market. It's kind of a tough business. A tough market to be in. It's a data visualization market and business intelligence. There are a lot of big players in the market, but I'm kind of positioning myself more in the kind of lower corner where Charbrew is cheaper and has the more used features and doesn't have all the crazy data science features that can confuse non-technical people. So currently using SEO as the main marketing strategy. So I'm writing a lot of blog posts. I'm replying online to all sorts of, if people ask for solutions to problems, I'm over there and answering their questions. And this kind of builds a nice profile for when people search for this problem on Google. And currently my main driver for sales is just direct people coming directly from search engines, which is pretty nice because it can be scaled that way without a big team. And I'm the only one working on the business, so that's quite useful. So currently, Charbrew is used by SMEs, small to medium companies, and consultancies. They have multiple clients and they want to offer visualizations as part of their solution. And also, I'm focusing on Firebase technology now because a lot of people searching for data visualization for this type of data source. So I want to talk a bit about how I work on Charbrew because as a solo founder, you kind of have to split yourself in so many ways. And sometimes I'm kind of poking the beast and telling you to make money, kind of do things and learn along the way, pretty much. Sometimes it feels like this, like a roller coaster. I'm going to show you a chart later on. So the way software as a service model works, sometimes you gain customers and then your monthly revenue goes up. Sometimes they churn, goes down, and so on. So it pretty much resembles these pictures over here. 30 days. So from today, minus 30 days. And it kind of looks a bit like this roller coaster in a way. I started 30 days ago with almost 1.1K, and I'm still at that level over here. But usually it turns out for the best in the end, hopefully. yeah, so the way I work on this is because I'm a solo founder, I do everything myself. But I kind of like it that way for now because so the business is fully bootstrapped and it gives me a lot of freedom to kind of shape it the way I want. And it's growing steadily now, so it's not growing too fast, so that I cannot handle things myself. So I kind of like this way because it gives me a lot of freedom. It's a calm lifestyle. I don't have to answer too many support queries because I have too many customers all of a sudden, and I don't have the people to handle that. So as the business grows, I'm gonna hire people as I go in my own terms. So kind of like this model and the software as a service model, which is more predictable in some way because you have recurring revenue. It's not, you don't have to work day and night to do sales. And yeah, that's pretty much it, really, about me and Charbrew. And you can, if you want, you can follow me on Twitter, where I build Charbrew in public, actually, so you can see kind of what I'm experimenting with, how my revenue is going, and so on. Or if you drop me an email, raz@charbrew.com, you can also discuss things over there with me. And yeah, don't forget to check out charbrew.com, where you can actually see the product. It's live, it's usable. And if you have any feedback, I'm all ears. And yeah, if you have any questions, I think now is the time to ask them.
Yeah, thanks so much. So
Yeah, no,
if anyone have any questions, please post them in the chat box. Yeah, wait a little bit.
not all at once, please.
Yeah. Yes. So thanks so much, Raz. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. Yeah, my pleasure.
Yep. Yes, so finally, Pim from the True Digital Park team would like to introduce Startup Booster program. So Pim,
Okay.
could you start?
Okay, sure. Thank you for sharing today.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me give a quick outlook of our program. It's called Startup Booster Program. What is Startup Booster Program? Is a program for international startup, like who want to expand their business, who wants to start their business in Thailand. It's 1 year incubator program endorsed by BOI. Okay, and is one-time fee of only 100,000 baht. Okay, what will you get from this program? We provide you a whole package of 1 year smart chance visa and knowledge on how to set up business in Thailand, business Thai, and like business law in Thai, and business consultation, networking events, co-working spaces, and spatial software, and this will be discussed later. Okay. And this is the benefit of Smart Visa Type S is 1 year visa, no work permit required, and no re-entry permit required. Also, if you were to have like spouse or children, you can bring them here and they can also work too. Okay. And this is an example of our knowledge that we provide you, like how to prepare for market entry in CE, business Thai, how to set up business in Thailand. And this is consultation service. We have legal like consultations on how to set up business in Thailand, or legal concern, and market asset. And also VC consultation, marketing strategy, also IP, and you have us to a committee. You can chit chat, or if you have any concern, you can reach out to me. Mhm. Okay, so this is our networking previous previous networking event, and this is our co-working space. We provide you like a true space also, and there are more like 10 plus locations across Thailand. and participate at Chiang Mai. We give you a discount on this. Okay, so this is a special offer. We have a discount for you for Virgin Active and company registration, yeah, and TDPK service event space and private office. Okay, so if you interest in our booster program, you can visit through Digital Park website and fill out inquiry form, or you can reach out to us by email. Okay, so that is for our booster program. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Pim. So if anyone has questions, please post them in the chat box. Maybe no. Yes, so thank you very much for your time today. So see you at next month's event. Thanks so much.